What's going on, Falcon fans? This your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. So today we're going to talk about some of the players in this draft that the Falcons have actually shown interest in, actually invited for a visit, talked to virtually or on the pro days or things like that. We're going to talk about some of these players. It was reported by different sources throughout the media that these some of the players that actually the Falcons were interested in. I think it's important to look at some of these players and kind of look at the idea of the kind of players the Falcons was trying to target and kind of get an idea of what they're going to do in this year's draft. So we're going to go through this list real quick, and you guys definitely let me know what you think about some of these players that they actually show interest in. So before we go into that, guys, go ahead, please subscribe to the channel. Please hit notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you like to hear what I talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and go down this list real quick. Just to note, I did not put any Georgia players on this list. Of course, we know that the Falcons had interest in all the Georgia players. That defense that was put on display this year for us. Of course, the Falcons actually had interest in those guys, and then some of their offensive players as well. So we're not gonna. I just didn't want to put all those guys up there because, of course, that was a local visit, scout day, pro day. They could definitely have access to the Georgia players, so I did not put the Georgia players on here. But of course, they had interest in the Georgia players like Jordan Davis, like N'Kobe Dean, like Quay Walker, like Trayvon Walker, like Cook, Sawyer, the guy that I highlighted. So just be cool with that. They had interest in all those Georgia players as well. So, but we're gonna just go down the list. As you can see, I started with the quarterbacks that they show interest in. Of course, we know about Malik Willis, Desmond Ritter. It was reported that it was really interesting, and they had a big showing at the Cincinnati Pro Day. So, Desmond Ritter, Matt Corral, was reported that, of course, he came to visit as well. Sam Howell, another quarterback. So those four quarterbacks. The Falcons show interest in those. Doesn't mean they didn't show interest in any other quarterbacks, but we know for a fact that they had interest in those quarterbacks. Of course, a lot of people has already mocked Malik Willis to the Falcons. We'll just have to see if that's what happens on Thursday at number 8. We're going to tight ends. Of course, we talked about Jelani Woods, another tight end out VA, converted quarterback to tight end, who had a lot of good film on tape this year. So definitely, they talked to Jelani Woods, talked to Greg Dooch, another tight end that put up great numbers at UCLA. So those are the tight ends. Myjai Sanders, a player that I highlighted, defensive end, who has the same build as Kayvon Thibodeaux. Like I said, they had a good showing at Cincinnati Pro Day. So, Myjai Sanders, Kayvon Thibodeaux. Of course, you're gonna have interest in Kayvon Thibodeaux. Of course, if you've been watching, everybody keeps saying he's gonna drop down the board. If he dropped down number 8, the Falcons probably should take him, because I think he's one of the elite pass rushers in this draft. Sam Williams, defensive end out of Ole Miss. Of course, he's not one of those top defensive ends, just like Myjai Sanders. But like I said, you cannot have enough defensive ends. D'Angelo Malone from Western Kentucky. You can see him, another D end. Then Tyreek Smith, another D end. So if I'm just looking at this list, D end was definitely a position that they actually looked at and showed interest in. So we definitely want to be thinking that they might go dig in this draft, not just in number 8, but in the draft in its entirety. So we definitely might want to be looking at it for a defensive end in this draft. All right, we'll go to the safeties. Kyle Hamilton, that was a no-brainer to actually make sure they do their homework on Kyle Hamilton, because it was reported that he actually might drop down in the draft. I think he's one of the best players in this draft. Of course, everybody going off his testing, but if anybody look at the freshman coming out, and he's kind of remind me of Derek Stingley. Their freshman year was just amazing. If they was able to come out of the draft in their freshman year, a Derek Stingley and somebody like a Kyle Hamilton, they could definitely be a top 5 pick. So we'll see if Kyle Hamilton drops. I don't think he will. I think he's still going to go pretty high. Yusuf Coker, the guy that I highlighted yesterday from Kentucky, late round pick, depth piece. Somebody can definitely get his start probably on special teams, but definitely a piece that he comes into the right organization, the right culture. I think he actually be a contributor in the NFL with some team. Joey Blunt from VA, another safety that they actually had their eyes on. Andrew Booth from Clemson, everybody know about him. He's one of the probably top 5 cornerbacks in this draft, along with Stingley Jr., Ahmad Gardner, McBride from University of Washington, and I think it's actually 2 corners from Washington. So they have like the cornerback U up there at Washington. If you guys remember, Desmond Ritter came from there as well. So they have a pretty good program where they produce good corners coming out. So, but Andrew Booth is one of those corners out of Clemson who's real physical. If you look at his film, he's physical. He kind of reminds me of AJ Terrell, the way he liked to tackle and attack the ball. Jamin Jones, another DB from Ole Miss. So they got a couple players in for Ole Miss. So probably when they went to take a look at Matt Corral, pretty sure they got eyes on Jamin Jones and Sam Williams while they was there at Ole Miss. All right. We go up to the top here. Jermaine Johnson, of course. Jermaine Johnson is one of the top 5 pass rushers in this draft. If Jermaine Johnson drops to number 8, definitely I could see the Falcons actually selecting him at number 8. Depends on who's on the board at the time, but pass rush is something that we got to figure out. 18 sacks last year, the worst in the NFL. We got to be able to figure out the pass rush. And I'm not just saying that. That's one of the things that Dean Pease mentioned. We got to be able to pressure the ball more. So I think that's a big deal. Isaac Weaver. So we go to the offensive line now. From Old Dominion. Kenyon Green, one of the best offensive linemen. I don't think he's going to be a number 8. I think he'll be later on in the first round. But if the Falcons just say if they was to move down, get some draft capital, there could be somebody they could pick later on in the round if they decide to do that. Ja'Tyre Carter, O-line from Southern University. I haven't did a lot of homework on him, so I'm not sure his attributes, but I'm pretty sure if the Falcons had interest in him, he's going to fit something that they want in their scheme. Chad Mumma, one of the most athletic linebackers in this draft. If you go look at his film in Wyoming, this guy jumps out the roof. He's all over the field, tackling machine. I just like the way he actually plays football with his instincts. I'm not going to say that he reminds me of Luke Kuechly, but I love his ability to read and react and his athletic abilities. Devon Harper, guy that I highlighted, linebacker out of Oklahoma State. Like I said, another guy that could be a depth piece for the Falcons. They did show interest in him. So once again, somebody that the Falcons actually show interest at that I want to highlight. Khalil Davis, D-line from UFC. You see here, it don't look like they looked at a lot of interior linemen. So that's what kind of made me skeptical about a Jordan Davis. I know they talked to Jordan Davis, but I don't know if Jordan Davis would be a pick they pick at 8. We just have to see. Not saying that he's not worthy at number 8. I just don't know if they will have him that high on their board to be their number 8 pick. And then the last person I'm highlighting is Jake Herschlow, wide receiver out of Houston. Of course, we know our wide receiver situation. Pretty sure this is not the only receiver that they show interest in. Of course, we definitely know that the Falcons had the ability to have a visit for 30 players. So this is just a few players that they definitely show interest in that was reported. Of course, we know, I'm pretty sure, all the top players that was in this draft that was projected to be top 50. I'm pretty sure the Falcons, if they fitted their scheme, if they liked their attributes, they had a conversation with all these guys. But like I said, this is just some of the guys on the list that some of us might not have been aware of, and it kind of gives us an idea of the kind of direction that they might have been going in. If you're looking at like a lot of defensive ends, they looked at tight ends. Of course, they looked at quarterback, which I don't think they need to do early in the draft. I do think they might draft a quarterback if their guy that they want to draft is there later on in the rounds, like maybe say at number 58. But I know some people are saying the mock draft yesterday where they had the Falcons moving back into the first round. They picked 32 to take Desmond Ritter. I don't think Desmond Ritter actually be there because I just feel like somebody's going to overproject these quarterbacks and they're going to go in the first round when a lot of people don't have a first round grade on these guys because of the position, just the nature of the beast. Everybody feel like they got to find their franchise quarterback, and hopefully it's not these Atlanta Falcons, but at the end of the day, if they feel like one of these guys, and I have mentioned this many times, they feel like one of these guys are their franchise quarterback, they should not take a chance in taking him later on. They need to take him at number 8. Hopefully that's not their plans, but we don't know. So we just have to see. Good thing it's draft week. So we got 3 days into the draft. I'm excited about it. And we just gonna have to. I think the biggest thing that I'm gonna take from this draft is the direction of the team. Like for an example, if they pick a quarterback, it kind of lets you know maybe they are punting the season down the road, getting ready for this new quarterback that they're drafting. None of these quarterbacks going to be ready for day one. Start of the season, in my opinion. So I feel like the quarterback is going to be sitting behind Marcus Mariota, learning the offense, learning the NFL, and then kind of point on the season. But if they go with just say a defensive end, defensive lineman, receiver, any other position beside quarterback, maybe they pick the best player available, and they're sticking to that philosophy that they said that they had last year. And we're going to try to actually wait till next year to get a quarterback, so or later on in the draft. So I think the Thursday night pick is going to kind of give us a good indication on the direction that this team could be going in here this year and in the near future. So quarterbacks taken, I think we can kind of anticipate that these guys are going to just pump for next season. I mean, basically, they got the quarterback in tow that they want. If it's a Malik Willis, I can see the fan base clamoring to get him on the field, especially if we're not winning games, to get the new regime going, based off the quarterback that they select. So we'll just have to see. Last thing I want to say is that I will be putting out my final mock draft tomorrow for the Atlanta Falcons. I'll do a 7-round mock draft based on what I think they're going to do. I'm going to try not to go with what I hope they do and what I think they're going to do. Because if I go what I hope they're going to do, it could be like a perfect draft to me based off the players that will be available at each pick. But I'm trying to do a little based off the moves they have made this off season, based off what I'm hearing around the NFL reports, based off what the conversations and the interviews that they have given. DP's talking about need pressure players. Terry Fontenot talking about having his cake and eating it too, being able to, draft good players, but being able to be competitive. And then when Arthur Smith talking about that he come in to compete this year. So based off all those things, that's what I'm gonna base my mock draft off of, and then we'll go from there. I'm hoping I get at least one pick right in this draft. Because if I do that, that means that I was kind of on the same page with them in some point, but we'll just have to see. So, guys, definitely be on the lookout for that mock draft tomorrow. And guys, let me know what you think about what you can deduce from this list of the guys that they show interest in, during this process. Once again, these are not all the guys, but these are some of the guys. And let me know what you think. So that's all I have today. Looking forward to giving you guys the mock draft tomorrow. And once again, this is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.